Thank you for joining me, Lucas, today. Lucas is a first-year Foothill college student. We went to high school together in Palo Alto right here. So let's have a good episode today.
I can't give you any guarantees. It could be bad.
No, it's gonna be good. I can't give you any guarantees either from my end. So tell us a little about how your experience at Foothill and your journey through higher education so far.
Well, my experience with Foothill is, limited. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that much there. I mean, I initially went to Cal Poly after high school, and I didn't like it, so I came back. Mm. In the first few months that I came back, I prioritized working, so I only took an online class at Foothill. Mm-hmm. And then for the first quarter, then I took a physical class, I guess is the name for it.
And then a physical education class?
No, a class where you actually have to go. It's meets. One class where you had to show up to Foothill, and one online class the second quarter. And then the third quarter, I was doing...
So it was a class on physique or something?
No. It was a physical class.
Physical class. Never mind. Okay.
That's what I meant. I was explaining poorly.
No.
Yeah, so I only took 2 classes in my second quarter, then now I'm taking 3.
Okay.
So I haven't been to Foothill that much.
Yeah. What was what was your experience with that first online class? Would you rather have an online class where you're not really seeing people face to face, or do you like coming in
I think it depends on the subject. Yeah. It was a CS class, and I think for CS, it online gets the job done.
That's true. I agree with that.
Although, I feel like if it's a history class or something, it may be better to go because sometimes you have discussions, and I think it's much better to receive the content from a teacher who's telling a story about history, for example. Yeah. As opposed to just reading the textbook. Mm. I'm much more open to that than just reading the textbook.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on the subject. Online, I think, is very useful. If you combine both online and regular classes, you can be very efficient with your time. I think.
Definitely hybrid classes. Yeah.
Or even just having 2 classes and 1 online, and you have to go to Foothill lesson. You can just do other stuff and then deal online in the evening because there's no specific time constraints.
Definitely.
Only the due dates.
Yeah, and you're working right now, so that kind of online format definitely works for you, right?
Oh yeah, it helps a lot.
Much, yeah. Where are you working at?
I'm working at Nest.
Nice.
Part-time.
Very cool.
Right now and doing school.
Cool. How is that balancing school and working at a high tech company? Are you're working part-time but close to full-time, right?
It's about I would say on average 28 hours a week.
That's a lot, yeah.
So
full-time's what, 40 hours?
Yeah, full-time is considered 40.
So that's up there.
That's 12 hours. That's more than a full day. So it's much less than full-time.
Do you ever whip out your homework at Nest and just try to crank some out? After your day? I mean, obviously
I have definitely done that sometimes. Yeah. When I was stressed about an assignment, I would and I need to think about it, I do a little bit of work. Yeah. Maybe take a break and then go do some work for a bit. But usually I reserve the evenings and the weekends for homework because the way my classes are set up, very rarely I have things due during the week, so I can just grind it out on the weekend in a library session or something.
Oh, okay. So you have little marathons, I guess, where you just kind of grind out all your homework for that week.
Yeah.
And
do some studying.
Nice. Yeah, we're in that same CS class right now.
Yeah.
So that's online. So,
yeah.
My opinion on that particular class is that it's pretty bad.
Yeah, the teacher clearly does not care at all.
He doesn't. Yeah, he does not care.
It makes me sad, man. Because that's the CS class where you're really learning.
I know data structures and
the fundamental
core
fundamental stuff.
That's what you got. You've got to do that class well.
Yeah. And the assignments are kind of boring too. It's just exercises from the book. We're not even.
It's textbook reading and then exercise. We don't even need that class format really to do it.
No, you can just go learn it yourself.
You could just do it yourself. Yeah.
So I guess that one will just come and go.
Yeah. How's your motivation? I at least for me, doing online classes. It's definitely easier to slack off. Maybe that's just my personality too. And I've found that I slack off with certain some of these online classes. Because you're just not really held as accountable when you're there.
Yeah.
Do you feel how do you balance that? Do you feel you ever slack off because it's purely online or?
No, I would say since I've done all my CS classes online, I think I've gotten used to knowing how to motivate myself for it. I just have to understand that I have to get it done.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do itself.
Yeah, see it. Yeah,
but the reading is tough. I definitely half-assed the reading.
Yeah, I definitely like skim through the reading. Yeah. I selectively read what I need to know.
Yeah, I like look at the exercises bad, so I know what I need to know, and I go learn.
It's kind of bad. Yeah, I feel like at CMU, like the Python class I took, like it was lecture based, and like during the lecture, like everyone, there was like 400 people in the lecture, and like everyone was on. So I'd go and I would like pay attention to everything. Yeah. And then now with this class where I'm like trying to read, there's definitely there's holes in like what in my knowledge of like the subject. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna retake this class again, I think. But
Pomona, you're gonna retake the?
Yeah, Pomona or online, or I don't know what, I haven't like looked into it yet, but I'll probably repeat it. Because I don't feel like I have like a strong foundation for that. I think it's a hard class to teach in like a quarter too. Like data structures and algorithms, that's a huge subject. Yeah. Yeah, and like everything else is like built off of that. But yeah, what got you into CS like originally? You did some like coding in high school, right?
No, well, I took the programming class and we were doing some language with Scheme.
Oh, you took that with
Paley? I hated it.
Really?
He was an awful. I didn't like. Yeah. I didn't like.
I heard that class was hit or miss.
Yeah, he had a very minimalist approach to teaching us the material. It was like, okay, here's some like. Here's some stuff that you have to read, figure it out, and like learn it. And I think with CS, with your first exposure to computer science, it's hard to figure out how to learn it yourself. I think as you keep going through the subject, the discipline, you realize what you like. You learn how to learn the stuff.
That's so true.
Efficiently. Yeah. That's what at least that's what I found. Yeah. You get much better at like knowing how to approach a new topic. Yeah. At the beginning, it's just like. I think you need someone to like guide your hand.
I think a lot of subjects are like that, especially CS, because it's like a whole other subject. Like you're changing the way you're like problem solving. Like you're changing the way you're thinking about problems.
Exactly.
There's a huge learning curve, I think, for CS. But once you get over that initial bump, it's like pretty. It's like way. Yeah, it's not smooth sailing, but it's like more linear. It's not.
Definitely
steep. Yeah.
Once you get over the hump, I definitely feel like I know if I can learn something if I need to get the problem done.
Definitely, and I think a lot of people like can get like discouraged by that too. Like I was talking to Ibrahim and he had like we have both had like similar experiences. Like our first like couple CS classes, it's like pretty discouraging when you go in there and like other people seem like they have it down, but a lot of times those people have like prior knowledge to CS. Yeah. And yeah, like it's easy to think like, oh, these people are like just naturally good at it, and like I just don't have that mindset to like think in this way, so like I will never be good at like CS because it's like a different paradigm. But like, yeah, you have to like kind of, for people like going into CS, I feel like you have to just like keep working at it, and you'll get over that bump, and it'll get a lot easier. Yeah. And it's really rewarding too, I think.
I agree. I think it's just training yourself to think a certain way. Yeah. You have to be very diligent and to pay attention to details and.
Yeah, so many details. Those off by one errors, I remember like right away with when we were just doing loops. Yeah, those were killer.
Yeah, even the loops, a fundamental thing. At first, when you're exposed to them, you're just like, what now
it seems simple, but when you're like, why is
it? Now it's easy. It's easy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's Yeah, and the C++ is worse with those small little errors.
Oh gosh.
Like with Python, I think it's much easier to debug. Exactly. Yeah. With C++, also if you have like a typo somewhere, sometimes it can be harder to find. Yeah. I remember one time I didn't know that it was something I didn't like implement a destructor or something, and the error message was not clear at all. Like I had it declared, but I didn't. I had the prototype declared, but I didn't have like the double brackets. Yeah. And I spent like 30 minutes looking through my code trying to find it.
So much.
It was 2 brackets.
I come across a new error message like every time I code in C++, and it's obscure. It is so obscure. There's like all kinds of and the segmentation, when they throw a segmentation fault at me, I'm just like
what
face palm. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like 30 minutes to an hour for like to debug this. Yeah,
it's a lot different than Python.
I'm surprised like schools like start out with C++. I mean, I guess it's good, but I feel like Python was like a way better ramp up, at least for me. Did you learn Python first?
Yeah, Python was my first.
Was that it slow? I remember you doing some Python.
Yeah, it was. I think it was difficult for me at first, like as you said, the hump.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult. But I can't imagine myself doing C++ right away.
Yeah, you have to think about so much more.
Way more, like memory. I wasn't even thinking. I was just thinking like, give it to the interpreter and it'll run the code, and that's it. I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes at all.
If you start talking to me about memory addresses and allocation, I would have freaked. What is this?
Yeah,
what is this? I think Yeah, I agree. I think maybe it would turn people off from computer science and make you think it's more just like all this crazy shit.
Yeah, all these bits. Like, people threw bits at me right away. I mean, it's really cool to, like, figure out, like, to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it can go either ways, actually. I think Ibrahim really liked... I mean, he took some classes before, but I think he really liked when they started out with, like, bits and, like, memory, because they, like, built up from, like, foundation. Like, this is how a computer works. This is a programming language. This is a compiler. So he liked that. But for me, if I got thrown all that information, learning just the way of thinking, the paradigm of, like, loops and if, like, conditionals and things like that was already so much that, like, knowing, like, the bits and stuff behind it, that probably, or, like, having to learn that would have been, like, kind of overwhelming, I think.
Exactly. I probably would have felt the same way.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what is all this? How am I actually going to apply it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. Are you thinking about doing CS as a major?
Something similar to it, yeah. Yeah. It depends on, like, the school that I'm going to and how I want to transfer. But we'll see. Yeah. I probably will end up doing CS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good, like, major to do, and then you can go many directions, I think, from it.
Yeah, especially in today's day and age.
Too. Yeah,
high in demand, also just, like, that's how people talk in today's world. Yeah. If you understand a little bit of computers, it's useful. It's really across many different disciplines and fields.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see yourself going more into, like, the technical side? Like, let's say... there's like a startup and like I don't know, someone like invites you to a startup. Would you rather, they say, okay, you can be CTO or CEO, which one would you take?
Oh, dude.
Like bit more business side, administrative, like managerial, or like technical, engineering, software?
I don't know. I feel like I'd want to get a taste of both. Mm-hmm. I assume as a CTO you do
that's
also
still pretty
get
social.
Like,
yeah, it's still pretty like managerial.
Yeah, you probably get a decent exposure to the business side of things. Yeah. I would like to remain in connection with the technical side.
Yeah,
I enjoy that stuff. So
that probably wasn't a great question actually, because CTO is still like very
there's more. It's definitely more technical than CEO.
Yeah.
It also depends on like the size of the startup you're in.
CTO is not like coding anything though. Actually, like you're probably setting directions for like the code, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, okay, we need this implementation, that. Would you rather be like a software engineer or like a manager of a team?
That's a good question. I don't know if I would want to be a software engineer for my whole career. Yeah. I do want to spend some time maybe being a software engineer, but I also want to do some management, try and do management or do something.
Get a taste of both.
Yeah. So, yeah. It'd be nice to experience both.
Yeah.
I don't feel like strongly towards I only want to do management.
Yeah.
We'll see where it takes me. I don't know.
Totally. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, rewinding a bit actually. I want to hear about like your experience like transitioning, I guess, from high school to college, and like I know you're already like super independent, at least more so than I was. I felt like you were hella mature coming out of high school. Like how was that going from like, you know, living at your parents' house and then going like to school and like managing your own life? Like did you feel like there was like a transitionary period, or did you like fit right in, or what were like some like habits that you had, I think, that helped you?
Of course there was a transitionary period. I mean, with any change comes you have to get used to it. Yeah. At SLO, they put me in an apartment dorm, so we had our own kitchen. Mm-hmm. So, and it was
a lot of roommates.
A lot of roommates. So, and because you were put in the apartments, you got fewer meal points, so you were expected that you had to cook some of your meals.
Oh, really? Okay.
So with that came stocking the fridge, dealing with like 5 other
dirty dishes and
exactly.
Stuff like that,
and we didn't have a dishwasher, so everything had to be done by hand. That was sometimes I got kind of nasty. I didn't like the kitchen getting dirty, but I couldn't. What can I say to my roommates? Yeah. Sometimes they were just lazy and they didn't want to do their dishes, but it is what it is. Yeah.
But your maturity level was like higher than your roommates too, I would say, from my visit there, and just higher than the average college student, I think. So like living with people of different like, well, not just maturity, but like cleanliness and like organization, like that can definitely like clash a bit. And that would be really frustrating. I was messy. Like now I'm like cleaner now. Like if I lived with someone who was like more, I'm not like the cleanest. Yeah. But like if I lived with someone who's super messy, I could tell like that would probably get on my nerves a bit.
Yeah, I mean, my roommate was a little bit messy at times. I remember he would have a huge pile of clothes. I mean, sometimes I'd let it get, and it would sometimes it'd come over to my area. I'd be like, bro, get that shit out of here.
To just grow exponentially.
I mean, sometimes it got it to me, but then it was like, it's just a small thing.
Yeah.
Don't let it like influence how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't control him. I mean, you can say, all right, like, dude, this is kind of ridiculous, but you're not gonna just.
You can try a couple times, but then after that, it's just wasted energy.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't think the transition was like painful at all. I mean, with school, you stay busy with classes and learning, and although definitely the feelings of displacement were something to navigate, like being in that new environment, feeling somewhat like you didn't have money connections and you had to make all the new connections, figure out like your routine, your day, or like stuff you would do in free time. Mostly that was, I would say, the biggest challenge initially off the bat.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of things we take for granted when we like get comfortable in a certain place, and obviously like when we're like in high school, most of us are like comfortable in our houses, hopefully. So then when we go off, there's like all these things that you don't account for. Yeah. And then you have to like, you know, replace them with other things like your routine. Yeah, like waking up and getting like coffee right away or something. Like maybe you won't be able to do that. Yeah. Or it's like there's all these things I've like been thinking about as I like prepare to go off to college. Like what will I have to account for? Like what are the things that like I can't do here? And like obviously like you can't think of everything, but like you know what I mean. So yeah. So there's definitely that transitionary period where you're just like adapting to that.
Of course, there'll be changes, and your routine in the morning will be different. I remember waking up thinking, I'm about to take a shower, but my roommate was in the shower. Yeah. You're like, oh wait, okay, I guess I gotta go make breakfast or something like that.
Yeah, you gotta like adapt to that. Yeah. Are you more of like a routine? Like, do you like to plan your day out and like have a plan, like kind of go, or you just like go with the flow and?
It depends. Like if I have a lot on my plate, I definitely try and do a little bit more planning. But sometimes I'm more just like going with the flow.
Do you use calendar?
No.
Dude, it's so good.
Really?
You should use calendar.
How do you use it?
I'm a huge advocate for Google Calendar. I just like plan, like I put my classes I'm like kind of forgetful. Yeah. Sometimes so I put like I'm gonna meet with this teacher then or like do these things, and it's just like so nice to pull it up and be like, okay, I did that. Like it feels kind of good also when you like check things off too. Because you can do reminders, like things you need to get done, and you can literally hit like done and then like check it off.
I see.
And it's just a little like satisfying, and then you can just organize. Okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have that tomorrow. Like I have to prepare for that. I don't know. I found like it decluttered my mind. Like in Toastmasters, Alex, do you remember that speech? That it might have been at Table Topics, but he was a speech about like, I think it was planning, or it was like it was like his goals, like his long term, medium term, and short term things he had to do. I think. Okay. And he, like, wrote them all down in some, like, app that organized them. And then he said it, like, decluttered his mind. He, like, read some, like, book or some study that says, like, you know, we're always, like, thinking, we're always, like, worrying or thinking about things, even if it's not consciously, like, subconsciously, like, oh, I'm going to have to, like, you know, take the dog for a walk in, like, 2 hours or something. And it, like, it detracts us from, like, the present moment. So then we have less energy to focus on that. And it's just, like, you know, it's hard to, like, context switch. Or something like that. Something along. I probably butchered the crap out of that, but like, yeah, I definitely noticed it like cleared. It allowed me to focus more on what I was doing, and it like lowered my stress level.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
So I mean, at Nest you do some calendar stuff. Right?
Oh yeah, well they have to put meetings on there and everything. Yeah. I think it's useful. I mean, for me, I mostly just like think about sometimes like what I need to sort of get done today. Yeah. And store it like in the back of my mind. Yeah. Sometimes when you talk about like where he said he has to walk the dog in 2 hours, sometimes that helps. If I have to get something done, I'm like, shit, I need to get it done before this time. You get like extra focus and you're more productive. Yeah. But other times it doesn't work if your brain isn't like working like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like different. I think different people's minds are structured different ways too. Yeah. So Ibrahim was telling me about it. Like, he's reading this Cogsci book, and there's like I've been mentioning Ibrahim a lot, but there's like a structured. There's like some people have like more structured minds. Some people have like more unstructured minds. Okay. So I guess for the unstructured minds out there, I think planning is good. But yeah, I think that's a skill. That's like really, if you can like organize your day in your mind. That's even better, I think, because it motivates you too. You're like, okay, I really have to. You don't have to check something, right?
I mean, whatever works for you, it doesn't matter. Like if calendars works better for you than mentally, I mean, it's same goal, right? Doesn't mean it's more skilled or anything.
No, it's just different, I guess. Yeah. So true. Damn. What are some other like habits you do? I don't know.
Oh, I have.
You have a lot of habits. I know.
I have to exercise, dude. If I don't exercise regularly, I start like losing my mind. It keeps me just calm and more peaceful.
Like, do you exercise like on a daily basis?
Generally, I would say 5 to 6 times a week. Sometimes on the weekend, I'll take a day off. Yeah. But I try to get something in the evening. Yeah. Just to like, for me, I stopped listening to music when I exercise. And I found it helps. Like you enter almost like, I think is the right word, maybe meditative state, sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, at least when I lift.
No, dude, I can believe that.
I get really, you just like focus on all your movements and like how you feel it in your, I don't know, like you sort of just forget everything from the day and just like, blah.
Yeah.
I don't know, and expunge it.
You mentioned that in Toastmasters thing, the like mind muscle connection or mind body connection or something. Do you actively like focus on the pain?
Well, it's not necessarily focusing on the pain. It's like when you do a movement, you really like do it with the full muscle or like activate the whole thing. And there's a difference than just like going like this and actively feeling like your whole bicep, making sure you're doing bringing the curl up or something, whatever you're doing. Yeah, it's you. I feel like for me, like immerses me more in the moment, and I can just like.
I can totally believe that. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard similar things before.
It's very important to me.
I think it probably helps with your focus in other areas too. Like you can just focus on, like at least for running, do that too.
The no music.
So
yeah, I don't.
That's how. Yeah, that's good. Like running without music for me is like so painful.
I don't go on that long run, so I try to go short and fast.
Yeah.
Because if I only go on a run, it's just I don't have much time and I need a quick energizer and get my body moving, blood flowing and everything.
Yeah, running is super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be good.
Cardio is painful, but
it's so
rewarding.
painful.
It's really rewarding.
But I think that's why it's good because you could, I don't know, focusing on the pain sometimes or like your lungs burning can be I don't know, maybe peaceful.
Yeah. It's refreshing and it's hard too. I think just doing something hard once a day that's like in your own control, like you're choosing to exercise, you're choosing to run, that definitely builds confidence, that definitely builds like self-esteem too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know, I've been like pretty interested in like self-esteem and like having like a healthy ego and stuff.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere, I forgot what it was, I think it was on like Quora. Dude, Quora's got some really good life advice, honestly. But it was like self-esteem. Oh gosh, I forgot what it was like comparing it to, but it was comparing it to like a common misconception about self-esteem. But self-esteem is like, I guess, if you admire yourself, like you wanna work towards like admiration, not like ego. I guess not like.
I see.
Not like I forgot what it was called. Not like infatuation, maybe. But it's more like you admire yourself and you trust yourself. You trust yourself that no matter the situation, whatever situation you're presented with, you'll handle it well. And that doesn't mean you're overthinking, like, how I'm going to react to each situation. It's just, like, I trust myself. I don't even have to think about going into that room and, giving a speech or something. Yeah. Like, I'm going to react well. Even if it goes bad, like, I'll react well. It's, like, it was, like, a pretty interesting way to... I probably butchered that again, but it was a pretty interesting way to, like, look at, like, building, like, self-esteem.
Interesting. Admiration versus egotistical or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It was
interesting.
Along the lines of
now that I think about it, there definitely probably is a difference between the two.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's, like... Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool concept.
They mentioned like working out and like doing things that are like challenging and stressful, like that helps you build admiration for yourself because you give yourself a pat on, you're like, I did that, like I got through that hard time, like and hardship too, like just stuff that you don't control either. I think that can build some like admiration too. Yeah,
that back to the working out, like how it does overcoming that challenge, I think is big for your mental confidence and just like knowing to deal with shit that comes your way.
Yeah. Do you like working out in the mornings or?
No, I generally work out in the evenings. There was a time where I was running in the mornings.
Yeah.
I got out of that routine. I should try and get back into it, but to be honest, I just...
Was that helping, do you think? Like,
yeah, I think I was definitely more productive. Yeah. I just went on like 1.5 to 2 mile run in the morning. I'd get out of bed and go on a run.
Yeah.
It was really hard because you're groggy and you haven't eaten yet.
Your body just like hurts in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah, when you run. But then I felt I was generally more focused during the day. Yeah. When I did that.
Mm-hmm. You like set the tone for the day kind of thing.
Yeah. But I to be honest, I should probably try and start doing that again. But I haven't done it for a couple months.
If you're working out every day, like that's whatever works again. But yeah.
But yeah, I did feel more focused during the day when I did that.
Yeah. Do you ever have like slumps in your day?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Where you're just like really tired. And how do you get out of those?
I've been having a lot of those
recently. Or slumps like where you feel like unmotivated. I don't know. I have one from like 2 to 4-ish where I'm just like really just like tired and just like not,
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can't be on your game 24/7. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if I'm at work and I feel like in a slump, sometimes I'll go for a walk, and that can help. Or I'll have a coffee.
Caffeine, dude. Coffee's the shark out. Yeah, it's amazing.
Caffeine can help with that. Most of the times, for me at least, a lot of dips in motivation levels come from being sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Or just tired in general, because when I'm really tired, my motivation is non-existent. I'm a lazy ass motherfucker.
I feel
so, caffeine helps with that respect, and just getting enough sleep is very important, I think, in remaining focused and hitting it ham.
Yeah, totally. Dude, caffeine is like freaking magic. Dude, coffee is like magic. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's also kind of scary. Like,
it is kind of scary.
Really, like, oh shit, is there repercussions to drinking all this caffeine?
Hella people, I mean, like, so many people drink it. I don't know the percentage, but like, so many Americans drink it.
Oh yeah,
it's a legitimate like drug right there. Like,
yeah,
it changes the way you feel. Honestly, it's like
gives you energy. Yeah,
like focus. Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't know. I haven't done enough research on to.
How much coffee do you drink?
Oh yeah, let's see.
In
the morning I definitely have, like one. I don't know. I have like a thermos that's like this big.
Okay.
And like I'll have one of those
like
usually.
It's
more than a cup. It's at least like 1.5, maybe 2. And then after lunch I'll usually have another like one cup.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll have a tea at like 3.
Yeah, I think I remember talking about this. You like drink it slowly, right?
Yeah, I don't try and drink it quickly, because then you
yeah,
especially with coffee.
That. Oh my gosh.
And then like the drop is.
Yeah, you feel good for like 30 minutes, and then you just back to even worse than before.
I just keep going like this, and then I'll stay. At least
that's the way
found
to
that
do
to be
it,
better. Yeah. Also, I think when you're more sleep deprived, and you drink coffee to sort of get up, you crash harder. Mm-hmm. So like if you're not super sleep deprived already, you're like somewhat rested, and then you have coffee, baseline. You don't crash as hard.
Yeah, I can totally believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Coffee's nice.
Coffee's amazing. I'm trying to like pace myself. I mean, I'm not as bad as before, but when I was working and doing school, I drank like probably a cup a day, and I don't know, it wasn't like bad, but I just like got paranoid. I was like, oh shit, like, is this good for me?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm past that. I don't like.
No, but yeah.
If it's good for me, I remember at the beginning when I first started drinking coffee, I had that on my mind, like, well, I don't want to drink too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But ain't nobody got time for being too
tired. Honestly, you gotta work. You gotta grind. How do you balance, like, do you set aside time to, like, just kind of unwind? Because you have a pretty busy schedule.
Yeah, that's important. Especially like at the end of this end of the quarter has been kind of busy. I haven't had as much time to do that, but I think it's really important to have mental resets so you can just like go through all those thoughts so that you like couldn't think about because you were busy, and then your brain is like less cluttered. I think you just talked about that a bit, like brain being cluttered.
Yeah,
that's important because then you can focus better.
Yeah,
and you don't like your mind isn't in another place when you're trying to focus on one thing. But yeah, it's very important to just sort of digest and flush.
Totally. Do you have like a set time when you do that, or you just kind of throughout the day, if you find some time where you don't have to focus on something, you'll just kind of like naturally like unwind a bit?
Yeah, so I try to most days go on walks sometimes, like we'll take a break and go on like 10-15 minute walk where I don't have my phone or anything, and I just like
that's hella good. No distraction.
Exactly. And then also working out is a lot of like that too, because I don't have any music, and that's sort of just like I just let me focus on the workout, and that's sort of just like also flushing. Yeah. Sometimes my brain wanders as well, and I get some thoughts out the way. Yeah. No, definitely. But yeah, it's so important. You gotta find times to do that because you can't just go 24/7. Yeah, you can't, and it's like hard to remind. At least for me, it's harder like remember to take those times. Like if I'm really in a nice groove or like a nice rhythm, I'll like ride that momentum, and then it'll just come crashing down one day, and I'll be like, oh shit, like I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. Yeah. Like you have to like kind of, even when you're feeling really good, I think you have to like find those times to like kind of unwind. Well, I mean, it depends on the people. Some people, I feel like they can just keep going. Like they have those, they get energy from like, different, I don't know, external things. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. I think it was on Core too, that I saw like this interesting approach where they were like, you should stop when it's going well, because then like when you stop, you like think about like the stuff you're working on, and then you'll have like a break, and then when you come back, you'll be able to do it better. as opposed to stopping like after having like a, I don't know, let's say you can't figure out a bug in your code, then stopping. But like stopping when you're like doing really well, like coding, things are going well, and then stopping, you can think about it more, and then coming back to it. I don't know, it's kind of an interesting approach.
That is
I generally wouldn't do that. I just ride the wave of like going well.
I'll be like, yo, it feels so good.
Yeah, keep going.
Right now. I can totally see how that's beneficial. Like I think a analogous situation is like procrastinating. Like when you're feeling good, like, oh, I'm just gonna watch some Netflix. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna hang out with friends. I'm not gonna do the work. But then when you come back, you start panicking. You feel, sometimes that can spur you to do better work or faster work. Mm-hmm. Maybe not better work, but like fast. Finish it on the deadline. But sometimes you're like panicking and you're super stressed out when you're trying to work.
Your brain it's not working.
Yeah, but if you did it when you felt good, you would maybe you wouldn't have like as big a high when you took that procrastination and but it would be more like stable, I think, and you'd probably feel like decent. I don't know, but yeah, I try to remind myself that when I'm procrastinating, like be nice to my future self. I also read that before. It was like be nice to your future self. Okay. It listed like a bunch of things like set out your clothes before you go to bed. Set out your clothes for tomorrow, so that in the morning when you're tired, you just put them on. You don't have to get when you're groggy, like search through your stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like, you don't procrastinate because, your future self is going to be butthurt at you.
Yeah. You'd be like, why didn't I work?
Like,
come on.
It's like a hella funny way of looking at it.
Yeah. That's a good statement. Be kind to your future self. That's a good one.
There's so many situations where I'm just like, I think it's important to like procrastinate sometimes too. Like to chill out. I mean, not procrastinate, but like give yourself a break, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard, it's hard to know what's the right decision is in any given moment to do the work or not to do the work or whatever.
I guess it all comes back to just like knowing how you function, knowing what works well for you and what doesn't. Yeah. I guess that just comes with experience and time.
That just comes with time, honestly. It's hard to force like getting to know yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the most important things in life, like knowing yourself. That's so important.
Oh yeah, then you know like where you suck and where you don't suck and how to like deal with those good things.
Exactly. Yeah,
very
just
important.
Come to terms with yourself, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've been like pretty interested in like not only like becoming self-aware of like what you're good at. Oh, I procrastinate. That's a weakness. I need to work on that. Or this is a strength. I should play off of that and feel good about myself for that. And like knowing your identity too, I think, like knowing how you act in like certain situations and like the types of people. I think knowing your identity is really important in like finding friends too. I think like knowing the types of people, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like knowing the types of people that are going to like add to your life and like
compliment you
or help you work on something that you're, show a side of you that you didn't know you had or something.
Yeah, push you to think a different way or something.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. Definitely. I just like was around. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay.
But yeah, no, I've been like thinking about like identity a lot lately and things like that. Yeah. Do you think you're like pretty, you know yourself pretty well? Like, like, oh, I should probably rest right now and not like push myself or you, I mean, it's a process, but like.
Sometimes I think I know myself and then I what I thought I knew about myself was not the case. So I think it's always a process. You always are changing. So what you thought you knew about yourself applied like doesn't apply anymore. Mm-hmm. So I just generally I don't know. I think it's just like you being mindful of you every day. Yeah. Sort of thing because you're always changing.
Yeah, it honestly is. Yeah. Would you say you have a growth mindset?
A growth mindset? I would maybe. I just
try
and like focus on like improving myself. I would say. Yeah. Cause I guess that's called a growth mindset. Fancy words.
There's already like technical terms for these things. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't like doing things poorly. If I had to choose between doing something like poorly and decent, probably decent, right?
Yeah, but say you do something poorly. Is there a period of time? I mean, depends on the thing, right? But is there like a period of time where you're like, oh shit, like I suck at this, and then do you like turn around and okay, there's room for improvement, or like how quickly do you like bounce back again?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a period where I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important to like know how to handle those feelings but channel them to where it pushes you in positive. As opposed to just like saying, oh, there's no way I can become better at this. Thinking like, okay, I can improve on this, and And I just keep it in the back of your mind when you're in this similar situation. I think that's important.
Yeah.
I definitely try and do that, but there's no way, like, when I suck at something, I'm, like, just like, oh, whatever, I can get better at it. There's definitely a period where
yeah, that's true.
God, come on. Like, I'm kind of mad at myself, but that comes and goes. I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've met some people. There's a guy on my soccer team at CMU that had, like, that he seemingly had that attitude where he's like, you know, like, I can do better. Like, he was always pushing himself to get better.
Yeah.
And that was like goals. I mean, I don't know how healthy he was, but it was like that was like goals. The guy was a stud, and he was always just like, oh, like, come on, I can do better. I think he was kind of hard on himself too.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like knowing yourself too. I think it's important to like feel those negative emotions too, and like ride them out a bit too. You can't like bury them and say, oh, you know, like I didn't do well in that, but I'll get better. You can't like disregard it either.
Yeah, of course. You have to address the negative emotions. Because I think, at least for me, in the negative emotions or things that aren't necessarily completely positive, you can find out a lot about yourself. Because that's when, like, you're stressed out or something. That's where like, sometimes the dirty shit comes out, and you should be mindful of that stuff. So
true. Yeah, those are at least for me, those are definitely the times where I've found out the most about myself. Like, the lowest times. I think a lot of people I agree with that.
Yeah, you just have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. I want to hear about So I was just thinking about like team sports right now.
Yeah.
I want to hear about like your opinions on like, because you played basketball in high school, right?
Uh-huh.
What's your opinion on doing a team sport versus like lifting or running or like pushing yourself? Like, do you see which one do you prefer, and like do you see like some benefits in either?
They're different. I would say running is more just like a single person sport, I guess we can call it. It's a battle against yourself. It's more like if you mess up, like that's all on you. And in team sports, yes, you can mess up and it's all on you. But then other times, like maybe another person was at fault. But it's like a totally different approach, I think, to the competition. Whereas it's like teamwork versus just you.
Yeah.
And teamwork, there's more to it.
It's like
I like both. There's times for both. I think sometimes it's really fun to like work with other people to like win or something. Mm-hmm. But other times I just want to compete against myself, against like some weights. I think there's time for both. I think
so true. Conor, I was watching some like Conor McGregor interview, and he's like, they're like, oh, like I think they were talking about like Jose Aldo fight. Do you follow UFC at all?
Not at all.
Well, so he fought this like, I mean, he's been fighting like really good people, right? And he's like going ham. He's like 2-time, like he's champion. He held the I can't talk right. He held the belt in 2 different weight classes at the same time.
Oh wow.
And he's like a stud. And so like a reporter was asking him like, oh, like what are you thinking about Jose Aldo or something, like the next opponent? He was like who's Jose Aldo? Like that, there's no opponent. Like the opponent is me. And like everything he does, he's like training to beat himself.
I see.
And he's training to master his mind, I guess. Like he said, like the more he can master his mind and control his mind, like that's when he does the best. Yeah, the guy is insane. The guy, like he's ridiculous. Like he's like the most confident person I've ever seen.
Conor McGregor.
I don't know if it's just like for the media. I don't even think it is. Like there's so like every time he's doing an interview or something, he just he spits knowledge. And he like comes across as being like the most. He's so sure of himself. Like he knew he was gonna win. Like he said, like I know I'm gonna win. He visualizes like before he goes in. Like visualization has become like a huge thing in sports. Mm-hmm. So he like visualizes before he goes in, like each move and everything, and like his preparation and everything. He's just sitting there like visualizing, and I'm pretty sure he called the knockout. He said, I'm gonna knock him out in the first round with like a left hook. He's gonna come out 2 tense, and I'm gonna knock him out. No way. And in 13 seconds,
that's what happened.
Jose Aldo came out really tense and missed a shot, and then Conor like knocked him out. That's insane. He like called it. He called it before the match. It wasn't like after the fact. Like, I called that. It was ridiculous.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that visualization, it's powerful.
Yeah, I remember. I think when in the first like month or 2, I was in Toastmasters. Yeah, we had some like Olympic mental tutor. Or whatever. Do you remember her? She came and she talked about the same really thing of visualization. Really yeah. She'd say runners had to visualize like them overtaking the person in front of them, and then they would do it.
Oh, something. It made it. Yeah, they had to like know it was possible. It was breaking the 4-minute mile. I think that's what it was. She was talking about.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. And like once the first person, no one was like, once the first person did it, they knew it was possible.
Yeah.
And so, like, 20 more people did it, like, the next week or something. Not the next week, but, like, the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's true. A lot of it is mental. I remember I read somewhere that, I don't know if it's, like, Marines or some Army group has, like, the philosophy, like, when you feel you're done, your body still has, like, you still have 70% left, like, after 30%, or something along the lines of that. Like, even when your brain says you're done, your body still has, like, much more in it. Yeah. And so it's all just, like, being able to overcome that.
That's what those crazy, like, ultra marathon runners do.
Oh, those people are wild.
They're, like, through the mountains, like, over 100 miles, I think.
That's insane.
Like, nonstop. And, yeah, they're just pushing themselves to their absolute limits. Like, people, a lot of them, I think, or some of them do it to, like, find themselves because they're, like, lost in life. And then they go on these, like, crazy journeys. They, like, you know, get a little, like, delusional and, like, well, not delusional, like, they start, like, hallucinating or, like, you know, seeing visions about their lives or finding out a lot about themselves.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Would you ever consider doing one of those?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember when Jimmy talked about, from Toastmasters, he talked about doing, like, the Iron Man or whatever. And the whole time I was sitting there like, you are insane, man.
Dude, Jimmy's a stud.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if I could do something
Jimmy
like
had
that.
an interesting philosophy on, like, getting himself to do things, too. Do you remember that?
Maybe I missed that talk. I don't
remember.
It was,
I think it was maybe it was a different one. I don't know if it was the Iron Man one, but it was like, he just told everyone, I'm going to do an Iron Man in 6 months or something. He told all his friends, all his family, and then he guilt-tripped himself into training for it. He's just like, shit, I told everyone, like, I have to do it now. Like, I don't want to be, like, a fraud.
I guess that's knowing yourself, right? I mean, that's what motivates you.
That's true. I don't know if I could do that, though.
I'd just be like, yeah. I'd have to be really determined to think to run an Iron Man. I don't know. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Well, it was like a marathon, and then... Is it swimming first? It's swimming first.
Swimming, biking, and then
it's like a hella long swim, and then
long bike ride too.
Long bike ride, yeah.
And then long ass run.
I think it was like a 60-mile bike ride, and then a marathon.
Dude,
yeah, it's crazy.
That's a lot.
You know, those Spartan races look fun, and the Tough Mudders. Have you seen those?
Oh, I've heard of Tough Mudder. That looks cool.
Yeah,
I wanted to try one of those.
Yeah, a guy that I know at Foothill, he just did a Spartan race, I think. He said there's like a part where they like electrocute you.
What?
They're like in, I think it's in like mud or water.
Okay.
They send like shocks through the water.
Do you have to sign a waiver before?
I think so. Oh, you must, dude. Dude. What if you have like a heart condition? Like, he said it feels like someone's like punching you in the chest.
That's
or, like,
wild.
You. Yeah, or like slapping you or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think those are as long. I think it was like 15 miles, but it's like weird. It's like obstacle courses. Mud,
yeah, with like things in there.
Yeah, electrocution.
That's
and,
wild.
Like pain and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I'd be down to do one of those. That sounds sick. We have to do one.
Maybe.
Do it, yeah. You'd kill that.
I'm sure they have something in the summer, maybe.
Oh yeah, I think they have a bunch of them. Yeah, he's already done like 2. I think it's like a. Have you seen the Ninja Warrior thing?
Yeah, it's similar to that. They have stuff where you have to jump on big things.
It's like it's not like similar. It's more like outdoorsy. So it's more like you're running through mud or like going through potholes or something.
Okay.
But the Ninja Warrior thing is. I think it's way harder than it looks. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's not that bad."
Oh yeah,
but it's
Those people are strong. They have a lot of upper body strength.
It's so much upper body strength. I feel like that's for that you like only need It's mostly upper body stuff. It's like hanging on monkey bars, like variations of monkey bars.
Grip strength too. I remember I saw one where they like had to hold on to like small little balls.
Oh, I saw that.
Like you need a lot of forearm strength to just stay there.
Yeah, and it was like going from ball to ball or something.
Yeah.
I saw one where they're holding on to sticks.
Oh,
and dude. It's the same idea where you're like you have to traverse something.
All forearm strength. I mean, I remember when we used to go rock climbing. Yeah. You need the grip strength.
Yeah, I want to get back into rock climbing.
Have you been recently?
Dude, you should. I feel like you'd be hella good at rock climbing. You were hella good when we went like first couple times.
I was okay.
No, you were good. Like trust me. When I first went, I couldn't do like anything at all. I think I don't know. You like lift a lot and stuff.
It helps with the forearms.
It helps. Yeah, it helps. Oh yeah, like the gripping. But yeah, they have the balls at Planet Grana actually.
Yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
Yeah, they have different sizes too. Yeah.
That requires much forearm strength.
Yeah. There's a type of grip called a sloper, which is pretty much just a ball. Uh-huh. And you're just like trying to put as much surface area of your hand on it to get as much friction. And like a lot of rocks are like the holds aren't gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be those like jug-like things where you can just like put your fingers in them. Like
those perfectly made.
Yeah, perfectly made for a hand. And most of them are slopers, so like you have to get really good at those. And they're crazy. Yeah. Do you know? Have you heard of Alex Honnold? This free climber guy.
Was he the guy that just climbed El Capitan or something?
Yeah.
I saw a headline. Yeah. I didn't read the article. I saw a headline.
Dude, he's crazy. He climbed El Cap in like 4 hours or something.
Is that?
I think people climb it in 2 days.
Oh, what?
And they camp on the wall. Oh yeah, I think I read the article, and he passed people like sleeping. He did it really early in the morning, and he passed like a group of climbers that was like on their like waking up for their second day, and he said like he looked down, and he like made some noise when he went by them because he's climbing, right?
Yeah.
And he looked down, and like some guy like peeked his head out the tent and looked like really surprised because he had no ropes.
Yeah.
And then like he looked down again. He was like, oh, like I really didn't want to wake them. Like, I'm glad I only woke one guy. But then he looked down again, and he's like, oh, I guess the guy must have woken up his, like, other 3 buddies, because, like, they're all sticking their heads out the tent looking at me.
Wow, that's wild. That takes free climbing with that's wild, man.
Yeah. And those aren't easy climbs, either. Like, no. They're not ledges. Like, remember we free climbed that thing at Castle Rock?
Yeah.
But, like, there were parts where you could stand up and, like, no hands and just chill for a bit and rest. I mean, there's some ledges there too to rest, but like, there's some of those things he's gripping on like tiny little things. If they pop off, he's popping off the wall too. Jeez.
Maybe that's like the adrenaline rush of that is he really likes that.
Yeah, I think so. He's just like a freak of nature. That guy, he's crazy.
Mentally, I feel you have to be so focused those whole times on another level. You can't ever falter.
Exactly, mentally, I don't even know if I'm guessing he's like afraid of dying too, but he just puts that aside when he's up there.
Or maybe maybe he's not.
Motivates him. Yeah, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just
has no fear.
Unemotional guy.
That could be. I feel like some people have those personalities. I think MLB pitchers have to be really like that, no emotion or something, right? Because if you start pitching poorly, you can't like get out of your zone. You'd be like,
dude, pitching is crazy.
Yeah,
you're throwing. I don't know how many pitches, 100 or something.
Yeah.
That's like a decent amount. They'll take them out after like 100, right? That's so many. There's percentages involved with that. Like,
I know.
Thrown off.
I remember when I played Little League, there's a huge mental aspect to it. Like pitching, you can't get, like if you pitch like 3 balls in a row, you can't be like,
psychologically. Like,
you have to be like, all right, whatever, I'm going to pitch a strike here. But odds are maybe you won't.
Yeah. It's like flipping coins. It's like each one is independent of the previous one. Yeah. You have to kind of think like that. Like they're not, or else it'll add up, and then your next pitch will be affected by the previous pitches that you.
Exactly, you have to be like have a lot of power over your mental.
That's crazy. Basketball is like similar, right? If you're shooting, I don't know, if you're like a shooter and you get like a rhythm, and you're just not hitting it, like I know like they're like, oh, like Curry's hot or he's not hot.
Yeah,
like, he's just not making anything or he's making everything. Like what goes into that, like. I mean, obviously, if you miss a basket, you're like, does your confidence go down a little bit? Like, I'm not gonna shoot next time. Or...
It can, yes. If you like keep missing shots, you're like shit, it's not going in. But if you are making them, you're on like a high, and you're just like, oh, this shit.
That's true. It's higher.
But yeah, it's not like you just got better all of a sudden that you're making it. It's all like mental sort of thing. You have to have. I think in basketball, you have to have an irrational confidence in yourself, where like despite it,
I can make this.
I can make this.
Like a chip on your shoulder.
You always have to think about that.
Yeah.
Because I definitely been in spots where I'm like, I've missed like 3 jumpers in a row and like pick up or something. I'm like, I'm going to miss the next one. And then you just shoot poorly. Whereas if you just like are making them and you're riding the high, you make some ridiculous shots.
Yeah,
because you're just not thinking. You're not thinking about it, and you're just trusting your ability.
Curry 2 seasons ago was making some threes, dude.
He
did not give a. He was pulling up from long range.
Yeah, sometimes it's just flowing and then it helps.
Yeah, that must be a really good feeling, like flow state, and you're just banging out. You're just like
it's fun.
Yeah, soccer like you can't. Basketball is so much like more hype. You know, like it's because you're scoring like almost every possession, right? And you're like it's like so back and forth. Soccer is more like you get in like a rhythm. Yeah, it's like you can get in like a flow, like you're making good passes and stuff, but it's not like. You're not getting hype. Like basketball, like you guys like celebrate after everything. Like it's such a hype sport.
Soccer is
one way to describe it.
I think soccer sometimes can be really hype too, but it's just a different form. It builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and finally a goal comes and everybody's just losing their minds in the crowd.
True, yeah,
it's like it's a different reaction to the hype. Basketball is more just, I think, is like a consistent at like this level, but soccer would be like here and then like. Boom.
Yeah, all of a sudden they'll score a goal.
Yeah.
Basketball's like hype. Like people are getting maybe not as hype, but
yeah.
Oh my gosh, unless they like buzzer beater or something.
I think with soccer you're watching and it's kind of like it's teasing you, right? Like they get really close to goal and they don't get it. It's like, oh,
that's true.
And then they get close again. You're like, oh, it's coming soon.
That's
and then
true.
it comes like, oh my god.
Those extreme fans, like, they're like, oh my god, like you get super in there.
Yeah, and it just keeps building and then when it finally like.
Yeah. Wow. Are you a big sports fan? Like, do you follow any?
No, I don't watch enough. I don't watch a lot of sports.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't either. I used to watch soccer, like Premier League games. They're like really early in the morning, so I used to like try to wake up with my brother and like watch them. And those were like good times because I remember like you grow like an attachment to the team. So when they're like when they're about to score, you're like you get it's like good anxiety almost.
Yeah.
You're like fuck.
It keeps building.
Building. Unless they lose, then you're like fuck.
Yeah.
That's my team. Yeah. But yeah, if they win, you like feel good for the rest of the day almost, and like you had no part in it. You're just watching it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Did you watch the Dubs series?
Yeah, I watched a couple games. I was like, I had a midterm the day after the game 5, so I couldn't watch the whole game. So I had to study. It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But it was good. They had some good games. Good. Entertaining.
Was it like? I'm not a big like basketball fan, but was it like pretty guaranteed that they were gonna win? Or I mean, they won 3 in a row in the beginning. Yeah,
they're a good team. I think I watched. Was it game 3, where they won the third one?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cavs, I'm not even claiming to be like an avid watcher, but like this is the one game I watched,
totally.
And the Cavs did really well. Like Kyrie was hitting up he had like 40 points. LeBron had like over 30, but the Warriors still won. I think that was reflective of like.
Yeah.
The season or like the team, just the
They're
matchup.
Just dominant.
Even the Cavs were playing. I mean, they still won. They won game 4, I think. But then when the Cavs can play like pretty good, the Warriors still like were okay with it, and they weren't playing like exceptionally.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I remember game 2. They had like 22 turnovers or something ridiculous. Like really high number of turnovers, and they still won by like a decent amount too.
Yeah, it just goes to show how good they are.
It's just like ridiculous. Their offense is crazy. Yeah. Dang.
What's the timing?
Yeah, it's about 43. I gotta go pretty soon. But yeah, let's do another one of these.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to do one.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on. And it was a little interviewy, but
well, that's what a podcast is, right? Or?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I was like hitting you with questions. I don't know. I respect you.
How dare you?
I think you lead a very professional lifestyle, so I was trying to pick your brain and like get some the way your mindset and your habits and things like that. But yeah, we'll have one more. We'll have round 2, and I'll go even more ham on you.
All right. I look forward to it.
That was good. Thank you, Lukas.
Yeah, thanks for having me.